Welcome everyone to the Triple G Podcast. I'm your host, Uncle G, but with me is host of Media Gaming. We record this podcast live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can listen to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. You can also become a member of this podcast and get extra podcast content every single month. It's on YouTube. You can check that link out in the description below. Drip, what is up, man? We got a brand new console announced.
Yay. Yay.
You should be more enthused about it than you are, Drip.
Yay! Yes!
A brand new console!
Pro!
Yes!
I'm tired. I'm excited.
Are you? Are you really excited?
November 7th, baby. Let's go.
Hey,
No,
Drip,
I'm not
are you?
excited.
Would you say that you're tired?
I'm tired. Maybe. Yeah. Yes. I would say that.
Yeah. So yeah, PS5 Pro has been announced, and hold on a second. I know a lot of you guys usually watch us for our Nintendo content. We're gonna take a Nintendo spin on this later, but I think it's too much of a hot button topic and too interesting for Drip and I both to let us pass by. So we're gonna talk about the PS5 Pro tonight, because if you guys did not hear, the PS5 Pro dropped, and there are some really interesting details that we'll get to in a second. But before we do that, I need to do a quick Google search. And that Google search is going to be Drip and Jeeb. Because we have a 5-star review to read. Maybe.
Oh,
Maybe.
Do we really?
I don't know. I didn't check. Yes, we do. A brand new podcast.
Do we?
We do we have one to read. It was a really long one. We're going to read it anyway. Here we go. One of the best casual podcasts I've come to love. Is that a backhanded compliment? I don't know. Anyway, if you're a Nintendo fan looking for a delightful podcast to listen to while you drive, while you cook, or to cap your night, look no further. Hosted by two incredible, consistent, and genuine kind podcasters, this is a true gem in the gaming world. Each episode is like catching up with old friends who share your passion for Nintendo and general gaming as well. Their enthusiasm is infectious, and their thoughtful insights make every episode a treat. Whether they're diving into the latest game release or sharing nostalgic memories, their warmth and dedication shine through. Keep it up, guys. Took me a while to finally write a review. Sorry about that. From David. David. Somebody's trying to pander for a $50 eShop gift card, baby.
I think so.
Somebody's trying to pander for
dude,
eShop
that's like
gift
AI,
card.
man. That's AI.
Yeah, I guarantee
That's crazy.
No, we shouldn't be hating on David because he wrote some very kind words, whether or not it was ChatGPT or him. Either way, thank you, David, very much for your 5-star review. And if you guys want to leave a 5-star review, you can do that through Apple Podcasts. Although, like we announced last week, there's some issues right now that we're not able to see reviews that happen outside the United States. So for that reason, you should take a screenshot of the review that you leave and leave it in our Discord, our brand new Discord, which you can go down below anywhere you're listening to your podcast. Just go into the description feed and follow it or subscribe to our Discord channel. Of course, it's free. Just need to download Discord. And if you're a member, connect your YouTube channel to Discord, and you get all this access to our Discord. And if you're a member, you have some private access as well, members only stuff. But yeah, so screenshot your review and leave it on our Discord so we can actually see your review, so you can actually be counted toward this gift card that we're going to be giving away soon. We already gave it away, but the person never reached out to us. So we're going to give that card away again. We're just going to take a little bit extra time to do that.
$50 eShop gift card just waiting for somebody.
So yes, thank you guys for the 5-star review. Drip, anything to say before I move on here?
No, I don't.
Good.
I don't have anything to say.
David was very kind to us. That was
good. Yeah, it was a good review. It's nice.
Yes. And speaking of good reviews, we're going to get to today's sponsor, which is MobilePad. Drip, you and I have both tried a bunch of third-party Joy-Cons, but I think we can say the MobilePad M6 HDs are the best we've ever used. Hands down. They got tons of features. They have HD rumble, amiibo support, and the list goes on. And MobilePad's other products are the Pro Controller alternative, which is called the MobilePad Chai 2, the MobilePad Nintendo Switch Dock, MobilePad M6 HD, a cheaper alternative to the M6 HDs, and much more. I really can't think of anything that they make that's not great quality, Drip.
No, I love everything they make. I use their Joy-Cons almost exclusively at this point. The M6 HDs are great. I like the white ones, but I also like these ones that I made, the cotton candies. They have their faceplates that you can buy. You can get them in pink, you can get them in white, and now you can get them in black, which is great. I don't have those down here because they're actually on my Switch upstairs. But the cool thing about the black one is and I didn't know this until I actually opened up the box, but the black ones come with a pair of the faceplates that are white. So if you buy the black ones, you actually have white faceplates that come with them. I don't know. I love them, man. I love them. It's all I use.
Absolutely, dude. You guys can find Mopad's products in our links down the description, wherever you listen to your podcast feed. That is mopad.com. Make sure to go to mopad.com to get all their products in one place. And they got some awesome deals there as well. So make sure to get those deals before they go. And you guys can also follow them on Facebook down below. Make sure to follow them on Facebook to stay up to date with whatever they got going on over on Facebook. Thank you, Mopad, for sponsoring today's episode. Drip. Yeah! Will Mopad make devices for the PS5 Pro?
No.
No, you seem so confident. You seem so confident. Do they make stuff for the PlayStation as it is right now? I don't know about that. No? Well, they're probably going to make things for the Pro because nobody's going to buy it. It'd be a bad business decision for Mopad.
Somebody's going to buy it.
So, yeah.
We've had people in our chat already tonight saying they're going to buy it.
That's right.
That's fine. Buy it. You should buy it.
Yeah, so this is not going to be a hate podcast, right? So if you guys are here for drama or for us to trash on the PS5, I think we're going to give our honest opinions, but I don't think either of us are going to trash the PS5 Pro.
Hey, speak for yourself.
I'm not going to trash the PS5 Pro. What I am going to say is kind of what I've already said on my YouTube channel, because I've streamed the last couple of days and left the video. If you guys want to check that out, again, link in the description for that. First video I posted this year, Drip. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, man. And it's it's like September. So.
Yeah, I know. First video in the year. Only took 9 months.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I already covered this. So I really want to hear from Drip. But before we hear from Drip, let's just get to a couple basics here. So if you guys are not familiar, because a lot of you guys are Nintendo people. And again, we'll get to a Nintendo spin on this in a minute. So
it's
stick around
November
for that.
7th. I see you have November 6th.
Oh, is it? I had the wrong date. Okay, it's coming out in
7th.
early November. Drip says it's November 7th. The pricing has been announced. Now we're only going to talk about the U.S. pricing because we're American boys. And you guys can calculate at home what it is for your currency. But the PS5 Pro is launching on November 7th for $700 US. I do know that it is also 700 euros, if I'm not mistaken, which, Drip, is more money than $700 US. So it's
right.
For people overseas, it's going to cost even more than we're going to pay over here in America, which is nuts. And the biggest kicker of it all, now that would be fine, right? $700 is actually I actually thought that was in the ballpark of what it might end up being. But if you want to watch my video as well, I want to plug it one more time because I did a reaction of the live stream, and I caught in the moment during the live stream, they only showed us one picture of the PS5 Pro. And typically with these announcements, they show two versions. Like for Xbox, for example, they show the Series X and they show the Series S. For PlayStation, they show the disc version and the disc-less version. Nintendo, they show the Switch Lite and whatever, right? So for the PS5 Pro, they only showed us one device and it did not have a disc slot. So they were telling you right up front, without telling you anything, that they're not selling a bundle with a disc drive. And the disc-less version, the one without the disc drive.
Not yet.
Right. The version without the disc drive is going to cost you $700.
That's okay. That's where I think that's nuts, first of all. I mean, obviously, that's a high price. But the rumors were it was going to be $600 for the discless version and $700 for the disc version. But then they just showed up with just the disc version for the higher rumored oh man, when I saw that I was like, holy shit, man. Like I mean, God bless.
It's too much money. I mean, it's really objectively too much money.
That's a lot, man. And I know some people can justify it and that's fine, but that's a lot of money to be asking for it's not a PC, it's a console.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot. Like the line between console and PC is just it's so blurred now. You know what I mean? Because you're getting so close. And I know you said this on your stream the other day, but like, you don't have to buy brand new parts to build a PC. Right. You could get away with buying really good high-end parts that are used and end up with a PC for not much more than that, right? I mean, you could get in at $1,000, right?
It's commonplace in the PC building community to it's actually encouraged to go out and find yourself good used parts, whether that's on like something like Marketplace, Craigslist, or more reputable places like a Best Buy or whoever sells used parts. Because a lot of parts in a PC are just fine. Like they're gonna last. There's parts of your like PCs, technically only last a certain time because the tech gets outdated. But there's certain
except mine will last forever.
There's certain parts in PCs that don't really need upgrading for a long time. At least they're gonna last longer than certain things. Like your CPU, GPU, those are things that get outdated pretty quick. But like there are other things inside your computer, like the main thing being your case. Like you can pick up used cases to save a ton of money on on the market because brand new cases cost a lot of money. But
did you know you can actually use like box fans? You don't even need actual fans.
Stop it right now.
Put a box fan up beside there. Keep it cool. I don't even have a box fan on mine. No fans at all. It's just
that's why it's working just fine. There's other parts too, like you got your fans and whatnot, RAM sticks, even whatever. There are parts in the PC that you can get used, and you can save a ton of money by doing that. So what was I got off on this tangent?
It's just a lot of money. Yes. I'm just the line is so blurred now between that, and then again you're talking about $80 more if you want the disc drive. To even play the discs that you've already bought, if you're going down that road. And again, I know this is not for everybody. This is for the hardcore PlayStation people, but still, you got to pay $80 more if you want to play the discs you already bought, and then. And I know this is $30, and if you're spending $700 and then $80, what's $30? But they really couldn't put the stand in with the fucking console. Are you serious?
So let's get to that.
You can't include on the Pro model. You can't include the stand for $700. No stand. Sorry, you got to pay $30 extra. No disc drive.
Let's talk about
$80 more.
Let's talk about this price a little bit more because this is going to be really this is going to come into play big time when we talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 later.
Yeah.
Again, $700 for the PS5 Pro, and there's only one model as of right now, and probably not going to be another model. $700.
No, there won't be.
Then if you want the disc drive, which a lot of people are going to want that because a lot of people have their games. And there's only certain games on the PS5 that actually can take advantage of the PS5 Pro that we're going to talk about. That list of games is a small one later. So let's say you have some of those games on that list. Physically, you're in order to take advantage of your PS5 Pro you just bought, you're going to have a disc drive. So disc drive is sold separately for $80. Okay, now you're racking up to $780. Okay, I've just mentioned the stand. The stand is $30 for something that should be included. That's like saying in order to turn your device, like the power cable is $20.
That's extra, yeah. Okay, but listen,
it doesn't come in the box. You have to have one.
Nintendo's done that before, though. Nintendo has done that. They used to sell 3DSs without the chargers.
That's true.
They just assume, you have a charger, and if not, you have to buy one. And it's not like it's like a USB.
Right. It wasn't standard.
Like it's a regular,
it wasn't a standard. That's true.
No, it was something crazy.
But here's the thing, Drip. They were charging their chargers for way less money, right? Their product, the console itself was way less money. This wasn't a revision product. I guess the PS5 Pro is technically a revision, but it's not really.
I mean, it is. It is. It is. Yes.
I guess you could. I'm not trying to defend Nintendo. I'm just trying to emphasize how bad this looks for Sony. Nintendo has done that in the past. Yes, that was bad.
No, it does look bad. It's terrible. And let me ask you this: Do you think it looks worse that they sell it for $700 with no disc drive, or would it have looked worse if they would have said we can give you $700 with no disc drive, and then they had an $800 version that had the disc drive, and then we're looking at a PlayStation 5 Pro that costs $800 on screen? No, would that have looked worse?
It's hard to know because we're not living in that reality. But
I know, I'm trying to like picture in my mind how I would like take the 700 was hard to see. 800 would have been like, ooh, good God.
What I was thinking going into the event was we're going to see two models. We're going to see a discless version for $599 and a disc version for $699. So if I would have saw $699 for the discless version and $799 for the disc version, I would have complained that it was way too expensive. But here we are already complaining that it's too expensive. We don't need that $799 device to say that. In fact, they actually did something better. I think it would have been worse. I think you're right. It would have been worse if they would have I think they would have been worse if they would have said,
if they would have had $799.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I said in my stream in my video, I think it should have been $749 for the disc version Where so they're saving, you get a savings of $30 if you buy the bundle.
Yeah, that would make sense. That would just encourage people to buy. I think.
We have a response here from Full Metal, which is a good question regarding this topic. Does the disk drive contribute to overheating? If so, I bet that's why there's no internal drive. So the answer to that, I'm not like the best qualified person to answer, but I do believe pretty certainly that the disk drive does not contribute to overheating whatsoever.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
And especially got to know the PS5 the way it is now. The new versions, and this how the PS5 Pro is going to be, is a modular design. It's something you can just pop on and pop off. So that modular thing you're popping on the disk drive to your existing console is not going to add heat inside the console. It's an external device that just plugs in with just a little widget. Excuse me.
And the way they designed it, it looks like the way they designed it uses the exact same one.
Yes.
For the smaller PlayStations, right?
I
suspect that same exact little unit that just goes on the side. You take the plate off and put the other one on. It's got the drive with it.
It's the same unit, yeah.
I mean, that's smart. I guess that's smart. I don't know.
Actually, that's a question. That's a question we should have. Are these PS5 Pro disk drives? Are these special
I
PS5
don't think
Pro disk drives?
I'm pretty sure I did see that they are the same drive. I'm just wondering if they're the same size, like the actual same drive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the way that it fits on the side. I think it is. It looks like it could be. It looks like it's a little taller. I didn't look at the specs on like the actual size, but I'm pretty sure it's the same exact drive. You can look into that though. And I see you got here that only the PlayStation 3 was more expensive if you adjust for inflation.
Yeah, that's not me. That's Jeff Keighley.
Okay, well I wanna bring something up. I don't know if you remember this, but PlayStation got their fucking asses kicked when they put out that PlayStation 3 for that much money. I don't know if you remember that.
I was gaming at that time. I had 360 days.
That was when Xbox was on top because PlayStation came out and they tried to charge way too much for the PS3.
Yeah.
And then they had to back the price off.
Right. So
Jeff Keighley needs to stop. He just needs to stop.
So Jeff Keighley, Drip just said Jeff Keighley's name. Jeff Keighley put a tweet out there, and he says as following. Here's inflation-adjusted prices for the mainline PlayStation consoles since launch. PS1 in 1995 in today's dollars was $611. PS2 in today's dollars, $546. PS3, $778 US.
It was expensive.
PS4, $538. PS4 Pro, $522. PS5, which this is actually, I think it's the more fascinating. This is one of the more fascinating details, I think, because this is only 4 years ago. 4 years ago, the PS5 came out at $499. But in 2024, this is how bad inflation is right now. It's $606. That's insane. That is nuts. Insane. But again, PS5 Pro, $699. And actually, Drip, I think we can actually use that data point there. The PS5 in 2020 was $606. That's a good showing of why this device costs $700.
I guess. But at this point, it's like, okay. And I know the answer to this question, but why even do it at this point? Like, why?
Why do what?
Why if we're going to have prices this high, I just don't get it. The prices going this high is what I can't wrap my head around. Like the whole point of a console was so it's an affordable thing that you can get in your house to play games, not a PC. Not a PC where you're spending $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. But the line is just so skewed now.
Yeah.
And I mean, okay, and that's the thing. Think about this. This thing's $700. What's the PS6 going to be?
Well,
what's the PS6 going to cost?
That's a great question.
And Microsoft said they're not putting out a mid-gen refresh. They're not doing that. So what's the next Xbox thing going to cost when they put it out? Because they're going to stay close to each other in price, but this is the new standard. $700 is going to be the new standard.
Yeah. I don't think that's the case because here's why. Sony is really kind of touting this device. They're making it seem like this is a pro level, like an actual pro level product. Like in more specific terms, this is a premium level product. Okay. The regular models are not premium. They're just the models that they sell. This is the premium version.
But so was the PS4 Pro was the premium version. The PS5 was more than that.
Yeah, I think the difference between then and now is the inflation, because inflation is not just on the consumer, it's on the business. And I watched Arlo's video earlier that he posted. I don't know if it was yesterday or today, but I watched it today. And Arlo had really good points. I recommend you guys all check out Arlo. It's his second channel, his other channel. Go check out his video on the PS5 Pro, because he kind of said everything that I think, and better, because that's how Arlo does. He's a professional. The businesses are, the way businesses are handling the inflation is basically taking all that extra money that it costs them and they're throwing it onto the consumer. So the business is making the same amount of money they would have made if they would have released it as a cheaper product with less inflation, because the person buying the product is taking that entire burden. So that $700 is like basically $100 to $200 worth of inflation that Sony's going, nah, we have to make our margins, bro. You're going to pay that margin. As the consumer.
I don't know. It's the price of this thing, I think, is just, it's a lot, man.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And inflation is terrible, and it affects everybody. But unfortunately, businesses are taking it upon themselves to push that against us right now. And it is what it is. If you want this premium device, you get to pay for it. And if you're angry about it being so expensive, don't buy it. That's the only way these companies are going to get their get the message. But unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. I can't tell you guys to not buy this thing. All these things that happen in gaming all the time, or these protests, like the Bayonetta situation. Don't buy Bayonetta because they didn't pay the voice actor, which I supported her, by the way. I supported her, but it doesn't work. You can't just like, not everyone's going to get on board. It's not like the old days where you could word of mouth get together with people and stop something, and that actually makes a difference. Internet doesn't work the same.
This anyway.
No,
it doesn't matter.
Well,
this
no. There's going to be
a
a boycott of the PS5 Pro because it's too expensive.
But it doesn't matter. There's not going to be. This is not for everybody anyway. It's just not.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they did well enough with their PS4 Pro that they said a mid-gen refresh for a PS5 Pro is something that would be smart for us to do, and we haven't even really talked about like what it is.
Yeah.
Because that's this part that, I mean, the price is fucking crazy. I'm sorry. It's nuts. I'm not buying it. I told you I'm going to stick with my PlayStation 5 Amateur Edition. I'm good with that. I don't need the Pro. They're also raising prices of the controller. They announced that right before they announced the event. A little bit before they announced the event, they said, oh yeah, we're also raising the price of the DualShock.
So every DualShock version got a bump in price. So the white version.
But did it get an upgrade? Because that was a rumor too, that there was going to be an upgraded version of it, and that's why it cost more.
The existing SKUs that were already there is just freezed up $5 for every model. And the color models are already $5 more expensive. So they also went up $5, but the white model, the regular model, stayed or went up $5. It's scaled, you know.
Yeah. Everything's up $5.
Yeah, and we're not gonna let Sony get away with that one either, because that was kind of sneaky. And they just kind of raised every PS5 controller for really no reason. And again, Arlo addressed that too, and it just goes to show you how cutthroat they are right now. Sony is like they're not gonna lose any dollars where they think they should lose. They're gonna raise the price on us in every chance they can take, because their bottom dollar is most important, because that's how cutthroat their business is. And you know what? That's how most businesses stay afloat, is being cutthroat like that.
I mean, especially right now.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this: $700. We haven't talked about what this thing actually is. Let me ask you.
Does it matter?
This. Let me ask you this. Not even getting into the specs, because we'll talk about a little bit of that, because that's very interesting. I do want to talk about that. But not even getting into that. Just
this thing does like VR 8K, right? I mean, no doubt, right? You can like, and it has a battery built in. You can like walk around with it on your back, right?
No, sir.
It's like, it's actually, it turns into a Transformer Autobot.
And you can actually drive your new friend. It's your new best friend.
Yeah.
And it protects you.
It walks around and says, I love you. Play me.
Yeah. So just looking at what they showed us in the presentation, just the side-by-side comparison of what the PS5 Pro looks like compared to the PS5, do you think this is a marginal difference that is actually something that makes sense to buy? Maybe not even just for you, but like in the grand scheme of everything. Do you think it is a big enough step to justify the price, or justify even a revision at all?
The answer to your question is no, it's not. Just to give you a straight up answer, unlike a politician, we just watched the debate last night. I'm gonna give you a straight up answer. Unlike our politicians,
quality entertainment. That was quality entertainment.
I'm gonna give you a straight up answer to that question. No, the answer is no. It is not worth the money. But there is a secondary answer I'd like to cover because I think it's getting some hate right now because of how expensive it is, which deserves the hate, okay? It deserves the hate. But here's the difference. I do think it, because people are making jokes like, oh, you could barely see the difference, which is true. And that's modern tech. That's modern gaming. That's modern technology as a whole right now is you have to take this magnifying glass out every year to see the difference in the new iPhone. And the same goes with tech at large. The difference between the PS5 and the PS5 Pro is different. There is a difference. And the main one being I think the way they described it in their presentation was if you can look at it like this, not performance, what's the non-performance mode? The fidelity. The fidelity mode of the PS5 would run at 30 frames per second.
Yeah.
And it would show a high resolution.
Yes.
And the performance version, or the performance mode on PS5, would show you 60 frames per second, but would reduce that fidelity a little bit, so it's a little bit less sharp, etc. What the PS5 Pro will do is make that fidelity mode on PS5 60 frames per second. So you're going to get that fidelity that you were missing out on the old device and getting the higher 60 frames per second. That is largely what the difference is between the two devices.
Yeah,
they're literally not going to look any different outside of frame rate because the max resolution is not changing all that much, if at all. It's really just
there is several. There is a few instances where it is.
Okay, right.
Gran Turismo 7 is going to have an 8K mode.
Yeah,
it will have an 8K mode. But that's going to be the one that you're really going to be able to see, I think, with this. The 4K ray tracing mode that they're going to have with that. Like,
yeah, and the ray tracing.
They did show some stuff there. That was the only part of Oliver I was like, holy shit. Like,
ray tracing is really
incredible.
Cool. As our friend on the show recently told us, Buddy Rudy, he told us how awesome ray tracing is and described to Drip and I how much cooler ray tracing was to what we thought it was. It ain't just more reflections. It is a massive technological leap that we have right now with ray tracing, and the fact that the PS5 Pro is going to have better ray tracing is really awesome because ray tracing is sweet.
I mean, you can tell. That is one, like, I think that was the one part in the whole entire presentation where I looked at it and I was like, oh shit. I think there was a few little things they stopped in, like The Last of Us Part 2, where you could see like, okay, like the bushes are just a blob here, but over here you can see the leaves. Like, okay, but like, honestly, like, let's be honest, especially as like Nintendo guys, whatever. Like, I play a PS5 game now, and I'm sorry, that's not what I'm looking at. I don't care that much. Even if it's running 30 frames per second and I've got it in, whatever, the high fidelity mode, it's like, it looks great. And then even when you go down to like run it in 60 frames per second and it's in, the performance mode and it takes a little bit of hit on graphic, it still looks fucking great. Yeah. Like, it's still like, go play Spider-Man 2 in either one of those modes. It's incredible. It's incredible. And I don't, the minuscule, I just don't.
It's minuscule, and that's why it's not worth the extra $200. But as far as is there a difference? Don't let the internet fool you. There is a difference between the two devices, and you're going to get better performance. Is it worth your $200? It's going to depend on your bank account. And that's not something Drip or I or anybody on the internet can tell you whether that's worth it. It's your bank account.
My bank account said, fuck off, you're not buying that
I got
shit.
PNC. I mean, log into my PNC right now, and let's see. Oh,
no.
Sorry, it ain't worth it.
You.
It's as simple as that, guys, especially if you have already a PS5. Don't buy this thing, even if you can afford it.
That's a good point.
Why would you do that? I mean,
that's a good point. If you don't have one, though,
play more games. Why would you play?
That's good for the people who don't have one, too. Like, all the older ones,
yes,
the used ones, those are going to go down. Like, those are going to go down now. You're going to be able to get, and you did say they're offering refurbished ones for like $350 now.
Yeah, so dude brought this up.
That's a good discounts. I mean, that's good too.
But also, yes, so Sony is now offering the original PS5 and PS5,
which is what I have, and it's fine.
So the original discless version is going to go down to, and this is refurbished, not brand new, guys. This is refurbished prices, but they're going to start selling. They're going to start reselling refurbished Sony refurbished PS5 discless version for $350, and then they're going to sell a disc version for $400. And it's refurbished, not brand new, and it is only $100 off of what the normal price is, but it's $100, and you're going to get Sony quality, and you're going to get that Sony 1-year warranty with that refurbishment. So it is.
That's nice.
I can tell you right now, Mrs. GB and I we want a PS5 for Christmas, and we're not going to get the Slim or the Pro. But we're going to get the original because why? It doesn't matter. It's just a little bit extra.
My God, you could get a refurbished one from Sony for $350.
I'm going to talk to her about. We're probably going to end up getting this refurbished one if it's still available during Christmas time. We're going to get a refurbished one because
I'm sure they will be.
I'm
sure that's the whole reason they're even making these is so they can have a bunch of stock for Christmas to sell.
I would much rather have a refurbished version than a random used one on eBay any day of the week. So, and $400 because I want the disc version. $400 is the fair ask.
Oh yeah. You would want the disc version.
Yeah, I definitely
weirdo.
I like my physical media, dude. I got movies, dude. Watching Star Wars in its full resolution.
I know.
It's good. Non-streaming. It's good. Blu-ray. Yeah. Blu-ray Ultra HD 4K is beautiful. So yeah, I'm going to get the refurbished is great. And I'm glad that they're offering this. And I feel like that was completely damage control. Because they've had they're taking it hard on the chin right now. I sent you a meme that I don't have it on my computer, but I have it on my phone. That meme that's of Sony and the past 3 weeks for them. I'm trying to find it really quick here.
Like they're done, and then Astrobot comes out, which I haven't bought yet. I am going to get that. That looks amazing. But it looks really good. It's being reviewed really well.
So Concord, right? Concord came.
Basically canceled it. That shit's coming back as free to play, which, oh God, that hurts.
So they had the Concord controversy, which was crazy. So that game's it's a AAA title that they're completely wiping off the face of the earth and maybe bring it back free to play. So they had that downer. It was looking bad for Sony, and then suddenly Astrobot comes out, and everybody loves Sony again because that game looks fucking awesome.
Like through the roof, high,
yeah. So that game looks awesome, and now, then they went back up, and then now they're back down in the news cycle because their PS5 Pro is an insane ask. What a month for Sony, and it's only 11 days long.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, and it's not. There's not a lot going on there. I mean, what is it? So the GPU is, what did they say, like 40% faster or something? And then they have the AI stuff. The AI stuff, I think, is like the coolest part of all of this, though.
And I want to talk about the AI stuff, but first, we have breaking news. Play a breaking news sound. You got any? Play something. I don't know. Where's Lenny? Breaking news. The person who left us our 5-star review, David, is in our live chat right now. And I want to bring up
I did see him pop in.
Yeah, so David says, yo, just made it to the show. That's my review, laughing my ass off. It was not AI. I am a teacher and deal with the nonsense AI on a daily basis, so trust me. That's pretty funny.
All right. Well, then that was a really, really nice review. Thank you. Very well written.
Thank you very much, David. That was incredibly well written.
Really appreciate it.
And make sure to tell my fiance that you're a teacher so you get some extra brownie points.
Oh, yeah. She's the one who picks. She picks. So.
She picks her favorite one. So,
Gee, AI.
Yeah.
Speaking of AI upscaling is what we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
This is the thing, not this specific thing. Let's before we jump in. What's it called? It is called
Pisser.
Yeah, where is it? Did you put it in the
Yeah, it's in the pod room. Yeah, it's there.
PSSR.
Yeah.
Which stands for PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution.
Sounds
not to be mistaken with NVIDIA's DLSS or AMD's FSR.
Yeah.
These are basically the same things. These are AI upscaling technologies that are basically filling in the gaps between pixels, making things sharper, brighter, better looking. I was really, really excited to see that part of this. Of everything that I saw, that was the thing. I was like, okay, it's in a console. Like, this is a thing that is going to be probably, I mean, this is probably going to be a standard thing going forward in consoles, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, all the stuff we've heard about, because that's the biggest thing for me, obviously. All the stuff we've heard about NVIDIA and DLSS in the Switch 2, I feel like now that we've seen Sony do this, like, I guarantee you at this point, and I think we've already known that, but like Nintendo has been using this. This is what they're doing.
Yeah.
I think this kind of not confirms it, but all but. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Nintendo is going to be utilizing AI upscaling in some form or fashion. We suspect it's DLSS because they're using NVIDIA's chips.
Oh yeah, they've got to deal with NVIDIA. That's
Yeah.
Yeah. 10-year deal, actually.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's good. It was already rumored years ago that was going to happen. And now that Sony's doing it in their home console, their pro home console, I think it's a lock for the DLSS is going to be involved in the Switch too. Now they might call it something else. They may, like for example, PSSR is something. It's not FSR,
well, I'm sure
not DLSS.
It'll be called something else because you're right. This is the same general thing. But this is like PlayStation's. Yeah, I saw that too. Jeff makes a good point there. But this is like PlayStation's version of it. It's the same thing, and I wonder if this is like. AMD's the one who do PlayStation stuff, right? I'm pretty sure.
AMD, I wonder if this AMD is FSR, yes. So yes.
I wonder if this is just a version of FSR that they've made for Sony. I'm not sure this isn't Sony doing this themselves.
No, 1,000. I bet my life on that. It's FSR with branding of Sony.
It's probably
a special FSR with branding.
I'm sure
for
it's
Sony.
Not just FSR. I'm sure it's just
it's made for the console.
Yeah, it's made for the PlayStation 5, so it runs. Everything is.
There's your money.
I'm looking for.
It's development money. That's why the thing costs more money. They're developing this PSSR.
But then the Switch 2 is going to have it's going to have some technology that's called something dumb, but it's basically going to be DLSS, but optimized for the Switch 2.
Super Nintendo resolution.
Ooh, I love that. Holy shit, I love that. My God.
I leaked it. Super Nintendo
resolution.
Super Nintendo HD.
I like Super Nintendo resolution. So what is it?
What? My Super Nintendo resolution? What is it?
SNR technology.
SNR, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I love that, actually. Okay, that's what it is. But, I mean... That's really cool that they're doing that. And they showed how it works. It is and it does do what we hoped it would do. I mean, we know it does it. Like PCs use this. And FSR, Nintendo has been using FSR. One of the games that they use it in is Switch Sports, for sure.
Splatoon.
Splatoon is Tears of the Kingdom?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is. Tears of the Kingdom is actually using the same engine that runs Switch Sports, which is weird.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is very weird.
It's a different engine. Breath of the Wild is a completely different engine. They rebuilt the engine for Tears of the Kingdom using the same engine that runs Splatoon 3 and Switch Sports.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's actually, you really got to think about that one.
No wonder it took 7 years.
You really got to think about that one, but it's actually kind of insane. Like, it's not like, it's literally not just DLC. Like, it's literally, they rebuilt the engine for the game.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think this affects anything Nintendo's doing, though. I know that's kind of the question we're at here. Like, does this affect Nintendo Switch 2? Like, what does it affect at all? Whatever that is done. It's done. And I think we're going to hear about it.
Well, I think
really
yeah,
soon.
I think, from physically, the console, what it looks like and all that. Yeah, of course, it's done. It's finished. It's just a matter of time. But the question I have, Drip, is does this affect the release time of the system, of the Switch 2?
I'm still on the boat at this point.
I'm talking about, does Nintendo want to push, or do they want to push up or push back? Because do they feel pressure either way? Does Nintendo feel any bit of pressure from Sony releasing this console right now?
I can tell you right now, Nintendo is scared to release the Switch 2. No matter what. No matter what Sony's doing, no matter what Xbox is doing, no matter what anybody else is doing, doesn't matter what handhelds are out here, doesn't matter. They're fucking terrified because every time they do something good, the next thing they do
fails.
Just doesn't do good. It does terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens a lot. They just can't keep consistent because they always have to have that gimmick. And I mean, we've talked about this several times too. We may be in an era of Nintendo that we've never seen before with all these new people, running the company, not only in Japan, here, like everywhere. Like this thing could be marketed completely different, and they may not be doing this whole giant gimmick thing. It may just be a Switch 2 with an extra way to switch, keeping it simple, lots more power, which is what everybody wants. That's all they got to do. I mean, if they're doing something else, then yeah, they're probably terrified.
Yeah, that was me. You can ignore that because I saved that. What you just said, that's going to be a good podcast episode. The title is we're in an era of Nintendo that we've never seen before.
Yeah, we haven't. Not a lot of people are talking about that still.
Yeah.
We don't know how they're going to handle the release of this thing. But seeing the fact that they are using that AI stuff, the upscaling stuff, just that really makes me happy. I think we're gonna hear about the Switch 2. I think it's gonna be like next week, man. Honestly,
that is a bold ass statement. Now tell the people why you think that.
Okay. There's several reasons why. One, obviously there's a ton of people making videos about this. This is not my whatever. There's a ton of people making videos about this, but there's stuff to back it up. Tokyo Game Show, I think, is the thing that's coming up. They're gonna want to show this thing, and they've got 2 weeks. So next week is kind of like the week if they're gonna do it before that. If not, they run the risk of showing people behind closed doors what this thing can do, what it is, all this stuff, and then them leaking it. We just had the same problem happen when they were showing all the stuff behind closed doors, and then all of it leaked. They were like, oh, it's Breath of the Wild, running at 4K, 60, this, that. All this stuff leaked. So if they don't want that to happen, next week's the time. And then they can talk about it openly and not have to worry about things getting leaked. But there's a lot of other shit happening too. These factories that Nintendo uses to build these things, they're ramping up right now. It's happening.
They're
they are ready
to
go. There's all kinds of stuff happening in the background of these factories getting stuff ready to go. It's they are about to go into production. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like it just lines up. Like next week is the time. I mean, it could not be. They could not talk about it until fucking, I don't know, February
2025. Yeah.
I just don't think they're gonna wait that long. I honestly think, if anything, with this, it puts Nintendo in a place where they don't really have to worry a ton, because this is a completely different thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is the people who are buying a PS Pro or PS5 Pro, if you're doing that, the Switch 2 is like, yeah, that's fine, but that's not what you're worried about. You're not a Nintendo guy. You're a Sony guy. That's what you're worried about.
And those people exist, man. I saw a tweet earlier that I responded to, and it kind of just drove me nuts because they're missing the point, man. They took a screenshot of the ROG Ally X, which is a 1080p device, and it cost $800, which is 2 facts. And they said, basically to the effect of, and people are complaining about Sony's 8K $700 device. And I'm like, this is a completely different product. That's like saying, man, you think you think you have the nicest fridge in the world? My supercar goes 100 miles an hour. You're like what the fuck are we talking about here? Like, it's a handheld gaming device that has a battery and you can hold in your hands, that has controllers attached to it, and it docks to a TV as well. And this is a home console that sits on your TV. They're different devices. Plus, one's a true console, right? And the other is a computer.
It's basically a PC.
It's a computer. Can you do your taxes on a PS5? No, you can't. You can do your taxes on the ROG Ally X.
Okay.
It's not the same thing.
No, it's not. It's not. I don't think this affects Nintendo really at all, if I'm being honest. I think they could go next week and say, here's what it is. It's coming out on, of course, I see this in the chat too. Yes, it is coming out on March 10th.
What is coming out on March? The Switch 2?
The Switch 2, March 10th. That's when it's coming out. But I think that is going to be around the release. I think it's going to be another March release date, honestly. I really do. I really think it's going to be. And I feel like the closer and closer we get to all this, and I could be totally wrong, but I think I'm going to be right. I think they're going to announce this thing next week, and I think. Well,
let's talk about that real quick. So September, let me boot up my calendar here real quick. So that September, October, November, December, January, February. That is 7 months, dude. Mm-hmm. In between the announcement and the release. Don't you think that's way too long?
Not for a brand new console.
I think it's too long.
Not for a brand new console.
It's not insanely too long, but it's too long.
The Switch was only, what's it, 7 months? The Switch was still 6 months. They announced it in October, and it was out in March.
It was like a year. They announced that thing way early without the name.
No, they didn't. The Switch? It was in October.
Yeah. I'm talking about like the NX when they started talking about the NX.
Oh yeah, they talked
a long
about
time
it. They
before
didn't show. They didn't show anything about it though. They didn't.
No,
say
not the
anything.
hardware. Yeah, well, they finally showed you the hardware and they showed you the name.
It was October, and the actual announcement was October, and they put it out in March. I don't see why they won't just do that again. Maybe just a month earlier to get a little bit more going. And
they needed time to build and market the Switch though. They don't need to do that with the Switch 2. In fact, they need the opposite. They need to get that thing out as soon as possible. That's what they need to do. The Switch. I
disagree.
The Switch they needed to market
way
this thing.
off on that. I think they need to market this thing because especially if it is a Switch 2, they're gonna have to really show people why they need a Switch 2. That's one reason. Second reason is because they're gonna have to show us the games. That's something we don't know about yet right now either. The games for the Switch 2. So they're gonna need a little bit of lead up time to do this.
Yeah, I'm not saying we need the 2 month. I'm not saying it's like 2 months like the PlayStation 5 Pro.
I think
7 months is excessive.
But
it's excessive.
Okay, and go look because I'm not 100% sure. Xbox Series X announcement to release. It's a long time.
Right now, I'm not going to.
It was long. I think it was like 10 months. I'm pretty sure. I know it was announced. No, you know what? It may have been.
You know what? But the same thing applies. The same thing applies with that, dude. Because again, the Xbox One was a failure, and they needed time to market this thing to make sure that people knew.
I don't know if
this
it was
is a bigger and better
failure.
Thing.
It wasn't Wii U failure.
No, it wasn't. Listen, Microsoft is fine no matter what. But if Microsoft wasn't Microsoft, Xbox would be in the grave right now for how bad decisions they've made.
And then PS5, what was that? Because they were doing good.
It was a long time. That was a long time.
What was their lead up time?
But also, again, those two consoles are bad examples as well because that was even COVID. We had stuff to deal with COVID back then. From supply chain issues to getting the product to people's hands, there was COVID to deal with those products.
6 to 7 months is perfect. It's what they did with the Switch. I think it's the perfect lead up time.
I agree, though. Actually, we agree though. We disagree on the exact date, but we agree that I think 6 months is a decent. I would like less, but I think October is the month. And I know your logic is really sound. I understand because Tokyo Games, it's a very sound logic.
They may say fuck it. They may say fuck it. And we don't care.
Nintendo is good at secrets. Nintendo is really good at secrets. Only certain things get out rarely, and they're not that big. So I feel like they're just gonna risk it because they always do, and they succeed. I don't think Nintendo's gonna sweat at all about something getting out at Tokyo Games, even if they bring the whole console there. They're not sweating.
If it's not announced before that, they're not bringing the whole console there. They're probably just going to show what it can do, maybe some ideas of things. Yeah. They're not going to bring it. They're not going to let it leak like that before they do it. There's no way. Yeah. Like when it comes to like a game announcement or something, maybe, but they're not going to let that happen. They're not going to let it happen. But that's the thing. If this thing's going into production, obviously we don't know exactly when, but that's when the leaks start happening. I remember when the Switch Lite was being manufactured, but it hadn't been announced yet.
Yeah.
The rumors were, the Switch Mini, everybody called it the Switch Mini back then. Mm-hmm. But one of the pictures was from a factory. It was the turquoise Switch Lite shell. And everyone was like, it might be real, might not be real. It turned out being real. It was real. It was the exact thing. So once they start doing that stuff, we're gonna see stuff, and they don't want that happening before they announce it. So I don't know. I think I don't know. I think what this means for the Switch 2 is just we're probably getting the AI stuff, which is awesome. So the Switch 2 is going to be really cool, and I don't think it affects their release whatsoever. I think we're going to be seeing this thing next week.
Before we wrap this up, Drip, for the actual recording of the episode, I want to go to our Discord real quick because we have a new area in Discord. It is called Podcast Q&A. If you guys want to leave your questions for us to answer on the show, that is if you're in the live stream here or if you're listening to this show after the live stream is over and you want us to actually answer a question that you have, but while we're live, but you can't be there live, that's where to do it. So make sure to go check out our Discord. The link is in the description of your podcast feed right now. And for the people in our live chat, it is the pinned live chat above all the chats at the top of your screen. So make sure to click that link and join our Discord. We'd love to have you over there. A lot more to our Discord than just Q&A, so go check it out. There was a question in our Discord. I'm going to read this, but it's more for kicks and giggles. So Power Matt says, okay, but question for tonight's podcast. Will Drip be selling, I assume he means his PS5, to buy the PS5 Pro? Oh, no. He says, what will Drip be selling to buy the PS5 Pro?
Nothing.
Because Drip's going to get some FOMO. And Drip's going to be like,
I got no FOMO for this one. I thought I would. Honestly, I thought I was going to get FOMO for this. I figured I would. You know me with this stuff. I'm like, I got to have it. Got to have it.
Yeah.
I don't want it. I'm good.
What would you, but play the game though. What would you?
What would I trade for it? What do I have sitting around I could trade for it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I got the Drip Media Gaming Edition Nintendo Switch I could throw in there. What else we got? I don't know. I got a Skyward Sword Gold Wiimote up there I could throw in. I got all kinds of stuff sitting around. We could make a package together that somebody with a PS5 Pro would like to trade.
Would you rebuy your Hylian Shield 2DS and then just to sell it again?
Yes. They're probably worth about the same price at this point.
Yeah. Let's do one more question, and it is from Power Man. There are other questions, and I will get to them as we go along with our show. I don't want to give them all away tonight because we're not probably going to get that many between now and next week. But I got one more question here from Power Man. It's the very first question that was asked in our Q&A, and it's the best one. Okay, so, sorry everybody else, but this is the best question. Is Drip really a leaker? If so, then how come he was so wrong about Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD?
I just got some bad information. You know, I'm a real leaker. I leak all
you leak
the
everywhere.
information.
Your name is Drip, man. You leak everywhere.
That's it. That's what I do. Yeah, of course I'm a leaker. I did just set us up a redirect too to Dude's a Monster. Just
Did you? Okay. Well, Drip, we have a little more time to hang on. I know you said you have to bail out, but do you want to give us like 5-10 more minutes in the after show? Because we're only an hour in to the actual live stream. So we will do we're going to end the episode here, guys. So if you're listening to this podcast, we will sign off for now. If you're in the live chat, don't go anywhere. We're going to hang out, talk to you guys specifically in the live chat, address some of your questions that you had during the episode that we didn't get to. But for the rest of you guys watching this YouTube video or listening to the audio feed, we're going to see you guys next week.
Later.